Hey, my loves. How's everybody been? You can comment below how you been. I hope everybody's doing well. It's a beautiful rainy day. I love to hear the rain fall. I do not wish to hear the cars, but it's all part of it. If you hear my Zen music, hopefully YouTube doesn't strike it for copyright. But I've been listening to this maybe about 3-4 hours, very relaxing. I feel like I'm in a luxurious spa. I clean my space, everything is put away. It's just beautiful. And as you can see, the wall paint color and this behind me, my neutral tones. I'm not gonna go around my white sheet covers. Like, I just feel at peace, and I feel like peace, I hate the word, as I hate hell, all the Montagues, and thee. That was from Romeo and Juliet, favorite movie. I shared that favorite movie with someone from my past life. And we used to make fun and joke. We'd be like, I hate thee. Peace, but no, peace is really priceless. Mental health, being happy, truly happy, because there's people who on the outside are happy. They post for the gram and they post for the world that they're so happy, and but they constantly need something to keep that happiness going, right? And they need peace, or they need something to fill. Some people numb, and people drink alcohol or go to food. Some people, use substances and drugs. Some people are addicted to sex and to porn and to adrenaline, working out. So many different things. Some people are addicted to shopping, and now the newest addiction is social media for us all. People are addicted to being on their phone, that constant confirmation when we get likes and we get views and we get recognitions. And so recognition, so a lot of that also, just, I believe it's endorphins are released. I'm not 100% sure of all the different hormones and things that are triggered specifically, but I know that it is an addiction for us to be online. And then now they have the reels, and you just kind of keep scrolling mindlessly, mindlessly. Had to speak up because I know sometimes I've had videos that I've shared and people are like, I can't hear you, speak up. So I'm sorry in advance if you can't hear me with the traffic around at this time. But yeah, seriously, peace is priceless. And I say my peace comes from my faith and my belief in the Creator. Because it's just different. In the world, we need to have possessions, and we need to have a partner, a spouse, children, everything to make us feel whole or to make us feel a purpose. And for a very long time, I found myself feeling void of purpose. And I had to go back to the source, back to God. I remembered in this bed, well, this is a new bed, but in this space, in this room, I cried so many times. wanting my family, my own child, wondering why, so many things just didn't go according to the plan I thought was meant for me. You get married, you start a family, you have your home, and you go down the trajectory, excuse me, tongue twisted. This Mercury retrograde has got me going. Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, it's crazy because, I remembered plenty of times that I would cry myself to sleep, and one time in particular that stood out, I want to say I had my candles on. I had, I think, worship music or something in the background, and I just put my face in the pillow. I laid stomach down, and I just cried and cried and cried, and I felt this warm embrace. And I can feel it now still to this day when I think of the love of the Creator, when I think of that eternal mother feeling as well. Because they say that the Holy Spirit is a feminine spirit, the Ruah. They call it the Ruah because the Ruah is literally the wind that was blown into first creation's mouth, breath, air. And so that is supposed to be a mother or a maternal spirit. And I just felt this warm embrace and this overwhelming feeling of love. And I just knew that everything was going to be okay despite my plans. When I was younger, I said I want my first child at 25. I didn't get married until 27, so that didn't happen. And then I said, okay, I want a child by 30. And then that didn't happen. At 28, they said I had PCOS and that I had some hormone imbalance. And then 7 years later, when I finally was pregnant, it was my heart's desire. I was so happy. I was working out, I was vegan, I was walking and, in the sun, and I was happy at that time. I don't know if it was because, I had gotten a family-sized car we had gotten at the time, and, we were ready for a family, and boom, and we had gotten our puppy, and, it was just a combination of things that my heart felt just this overwhelming amount of love and peace and comfort. And my cousin and his son invited me to go walking with them and to work out with them at the park. So at 5 in the morning, I was out of the house. I would meet them at 5:30 in the morning. And we did this workout that was intense Monday through Friday. And if they didn't go, I just went anyway. And boom, I had gotten pregnant naturally. So I was just overjoyed. I said, wow, then this is just all I needed for my PCOS, right? And I think the peace I was at that moment, I remembered praising God and just saying thank you for the opportunity of even having gotten pregnant. I was just so overwhelmed and overjoyed, I was just so happy. And as I felt the baby growing inside my womb, it was that same feeling that I got that night when I cried, and it was this embrace that everything was going to be okay. And I felt like I was that embrace for the baby. And I remember driving one day to my cousin's house, and I pulled up in front of her house. As I waited for her to come out, I'm just there singing to my baby. I was just singing to the baby. I had my hand on the womb, and just, imagining that I wanted to come out with a lullaby CD or whatever music just for the baby with my voice, so that when the baby, was born for their nursery, they could hear my voice and they would remember and recognize mama's voice. And I remember that I got so emotional. I was just singing to the baby and crying, and I was just so grateful that I was even pregnant, And although a couple months after that, I miscarried, unfortunately, I had thanked God again. I wasn't bitter. I didn't curse the Father. I wasn't angry with God. I was angry with my spouse because of something that had happened, but then, I realized it wasn't meant to be. And years later, to this day, I'm grateful that I had that experience, and I'm also grateful I felt contractions. My back, I was feeling boom, 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 boom. I could not sit still. I could not stand. And I had the urgency to push. And in my mind, I already knew intuitively, instinctively, that I was going to be giving birth to this baby. And that baby was not ready to come out. It was not fully cooked yet. But I was so overwhelmed with where our lives were. I was not feeling settled. I was not feeling confident in my partner, that they would be the support that I needed. And so I was overwhelmed with work and being on my feet. And I thought, who's going to run the business when I go out on maternity leave? And that was a constant battle for him and I. Like, that was a constant argument of me trying to take time off to be with the baby versus being at work and all that. And we did not agree on anything. And so in hindsight, I think that God knew 100%, not that I think, I know that God knew exactly what was supposed to be. And I think that whole thing was for me to have at least had the experience to know, do not give up hope. You can still get pregnant. And, I have PCOS and I'm almost 40. But I have relatives that in their 40s have had babies successfully, healthy. I see the celebrities getting closer to 50 and having children. So, I just knew that I wasn't supposed to have children then. And so working on our mental health, working on childhood wounds and healing and finding peace, loving yourself genuinely, loving who you are, being comfortable being alone and not in a relationship, understanding that it is okay to be by yourself. And even if it's for a season, or I decide to not ever have a spouse and maybe I get a donor or I adopt a child, whatever my future holds, what matters is that I did the work to heal, that I did the work to get myself mentally, physically, financially, and spiritually to a place where I don't have to depend on someone. But if such a partner that God sees fit for me, that has similar values and goals and principles, and is looking to build and grow with a partner, if God should see that to be meant for me, then I will welcome it when the time is right. And if not, I am also okay being the best aunt, being the best friend, cousin, whatever to everyone else that I can be a mentor, help other people in any way I can. You know, there's work to do. There's homeless shelters to be helped. There's more backpacks to prepare, more charities that need help, and women with children that need aid. You know, there's so much still I have yet to do. Business or not, whether I have the salon in the next year, 2, 5 years, that doesn't really make me or break me. Doing work that fulfills me, that is giving back, is of service, is really what I feel led to and driven. Especially doing videos like these where I can be vulnerable and allow you all to see me raw, and to also feel and to know that it is okay for you also to be this raw, to know that it is okay to cry. Men, women, whoever you are, whomever, you have to do the work. You have to do the childhood healing. Some people have abandonment issues. I did a little mini series on my TikTok with all the different relationship styles. And, you know, we cling to what we're used to or what we feel we're missing. And so if you're whole, and that's a heart-shaped hole, if you're whole completely, you won't need to be magnetized towards someone that is also in that same energy, or low vibration, we say. And low vibration doesn't mean someone is a bad person. It just means they are an unhealed person and possibly scorned or hurt, a victim of abuse. But it comes a point where we cannot, and I don't mean this for every situation, I mean for certain scenarios, we have to say, okay, I'm no longer a victor, I am an overcomer, and I cannot live in that state, because we keep ourselves in a mental prison. And so being here to share this is so therapeutic for me, and I hope and pray that it's just as therapeutic for someone out there, even if it's just one person that this helps. Life is very short, and we're only here for a season. So it is important that we make every day count for something. You know, tomorrow, I don't know if I'll wake up, but I'm here now. And so whatever I can impart, whatever I can share from my journey, from my experiences, my hurt, and for any of you couples or women out there that have ever lost a child or have had infertility issues, and your heart's desire is to have a child. I know it's easier said than done, but remember that you are worthy. You are good enough. You are capable. But sometimes our body is under so much stress and got so many chemicals in it from all the food that we're having, that sometimes it's just our body's not getting the vitamins and the nutrition that it needs, or sometimes we're not compatible with our person's genetic makeup. Sometimes God doesn't want us with such and such person, and we're in toxic situations that we need to break free from, because if you're constantly stressed out with the person you're with, then that's not a safe relationship. And that's not a relationship where there's equal give and take. And sometimes we're not meant to be parents, as hurtful as that is to hear. Sometimes we're meant to be there for other people's children, as in educators, as in mentors, babysitters, nannies, just volunteering to work with children, special needs, go read stories to children in the hospitals and in different things, cancer children. You know, there's so much you can donate to Locks of Love if you're a hairdresser, help children get the wigs that they need. You know, there's so much we can do than to focus on our desire to want to be a mother. The fact that we're not able to be a mom to our own children means we get to be a mom to so many more children. We can make a larger impact. And I know it's not what you want to hear, but I want to just bless you with that you can be someone for some other children that need you. There are plenty of children that need you. Be a foster parent. You can restrict the age group. You know, you can have younger foster care children. I know the system is rough and hard out there, but, you know, even the older kids, they need love too. And it's unfortunate that I was recently watching that they rehome children at 16, 17, and they put them in different homes because it just is not compatible. Like, this isn't a object that you could return to Amazon and return to sender. Like, these are children. These are humans that have a heart. They have a heart. They want to be loved. Doesn't matter how old they are. They need love because they didn't get love. And some of them are just angry because they felt abandoned by their parents, abandoned by the system and by foster parents that abused and took advantage of them. You know, so remember that if you do decide to consider being a foster parent, these children need you. Be a safe haven for them. Just like a relationship with the right person, you should be each other's safe haven. You should be able to go home and cry or laugh or open up with your person and share anything, and they should be able to do the same. You should not be constantly at battling, because that means there's no, how can I phrase this? There's no mutual respect or consideration. There's no true partnership. Because if there's true, genuine love there, yes, you can get frustrated or annoyed or angry. That's normal. But we sit down and we talk about these things. We don't glide over it or pretend it's not really happening. More on that in other future videos if you want information. I'm not the perfect person. I have made mistakes indeed, in past relationships and even in my marriage when I was married. So I'm not perfect, but I can tell you I've learned a hell of a lot. And we need to learn that respect, proper communication is key. Feeling like that's your safe haven when you come home, not a battle or war zone. Your home should be your sanctuary. Look at the space that I'm in. I shared with you all. You know, even if I had children, their room should be a safe space. Sometimes we have too much stuff in our homes. Our children have too much. There's too much distraction and there's not enough quality time with our children. And I say that because I've experienced a lot and I've been around, and sometimes we get lost because parents have jobs. Sometimes they're single parents. Sometimes, you know, one works too much and the other one has to do the house. There's not enough hours of the day. I get it. So everybody's doing the best that they can. So this is no judgment. But what I'm saying is we should try to simplify our home life and make things more easy. You know? Do not overwhelm yourself with too much. Get organized. If we're organized, we can then execute things. And again, easier said than done. And everybody's situation is different. So whatever works for you is awesome. But like, we need to create a system in the home that is peaceful. It is a sanctuary. It is your temple. Even if it's just your bedroom, but your children's spaces should be just as peaceful for them. They should create a space that makes them feel artistic and at peace and what have you, you know. Everyone should create these spaces for their own mental health, because a cluttered space means there's a lot of stuff going on mentally. A lot of experts have said it. I notice when I have a lot going on mentally, my room, my workspace is a disaster. But as of late, the more I work and heal, my space is, oh, there's a couple things out of place. All right, let me put them away. It's called organized chaos. That was what one of my friends had said to me a while back. And I was like, organized chaos? Yes. Supposedly, some people have organized chaos, where you have things, but that's because you got so much going on in your mind. So we all need to find a level of balance and a method to our madness. But anyway, this was in no way me trying to tell anybody how to parent or how to do this or how to do that. It was just some suggestions that, you know, you can create some peaceful spaces in your home for you all. Put on some peaceful music, some prayer, meditation music, whatever. You and your children sit on the floor, close your eyes and meditate, or pray, or both. If you're into the scriptures, read some psalms and some scriptures. If you're not into the scriptures, read something, poems, or, you know, anything. You know, if you're not into arts, then, you know, make a day. If you guys like cooking, make a day of cooking and put on your favorite music, whatever it is. But you should be the one to control how the household is run, as the mother, as the woman, and as the father, the husband, the parents of the home should have control of how the home is going to be ran, and not the other way around, not anyone else, any outside influences. Again, my opinion. My opinion. I've seen a lot and experienced a lot. Anyway, that's my little take on creating a safe haven in your home and a space for the entire family to be at peace. And that's why many people who have ever stayed and visited my family have always said they felt peace. Even my grandmother, God rest her soul, used to say, I feel like there's angels here. And my household is not perfect by no means, but I know that for years and years and years, I just would go through the house and I would pray and ask God to just come in, be with us, cleanse our space, keep it cleansed and healed and what have you. And, you know, and we all try to keep our tempers to a minimum these days. But nothing's perfect, guys. And you're gonna have your days where you're just like, ah, whatever. But you can make things work. And you childrenless parents and moms out there, there's so much you could do. Do not be discouraged. All right, my loves. I hope this was positive and not negative in any way. Because I kind of went on a rant at the end there, but I should have just stopped it at adoption and foster parent. But maybe there was somebody out there that was for. So, all right, my loves. Take care. Till next time.